Now, what Resurgence is to Warzone is what Gauntlet is to Battlefield RedSec, and I'm really happy to say that because this game mode is extremely fun to play. If you haven't tried out the Gauntlet mode, please try it out. In the background, you will be seeing gameplay of my first ever win on Gauntlet, and it's just a really fun time because you get a feel for what the multiplayer has to offer, and also it's probably the best mode I've played on Battlefield, and it's the free one, which is ridiculous, right? So if you want a bit of a break from the Battle Royale, which can be intense at most of the time, to be honest with you, this is the mode you have to try out. Now, I feel like a lot of my content is going to be based around this mode because it's actually so fun and it gives you a feel for absolutely everything Battlefield 6 has to offer. And that's probably very intentional, but they pretty much gave us the best mode in the game for free, so you might as well try it out. Now, not only that, it's probably the most efficient way of you actually leveling up your guns if you only have the free version of Battlefield RedSec, and you get the full access to the loadout system as it is a multiplayer. You can go through all the loadouts and try all the abilities and all of the gear that is available to you, such as the gadgets and also the kind of lethals and tacticals and everything like that. So you get access to everything in this Gauntlet mode. And then not only that, each of the rounds in Gauntlet, so essentially you start off with 8 teams and then it slowly dwindles down into 2 teams at the very end, and you lose 2 teams after every single round. And all the objectives are very different. You can get a TDM based mode where you just need to kill the enemy team, and a full squad wipe will eliminate that team. You can get arm and MCOM, so you go up to the MCOM, you arm this, but you are only playing as your squad, so you don't have help from any other players. And there's so many other objectives like capturing the flags. There's plenty of different modes, or capturing sectors and then moving on as well. Like I said, overall, you're just getting a feel for what Battlefield has to offer with this game mode, and it's just extremely fun. And in the background, you'll just see me playing through this mode for our first win, and I will be kind of cutting bits out because I don't want this video to be too long, because to be honest with you, this is extremely fun for me to play, and I just really enjoy exactly what we have here. Now, the main reason I want to talk about this is because I think this is exactly what Battlefield RedSec needed, and it's basically Resurgence to Battlefield RedSec. And obviously the reason why I said that is because it's the other game mode which just so happens to be really fun, and I think a whole community can span off this Gauntlet mode because, to be honest with you, it's ridiculously fun to play, and it's in sectors on the actual map as well, so the actual Battle Royale map, which I find really fun too. So just overall, you can get your challenges completed here as well, which I think is great. You can load out with your loadout weapons and just spawn and respawn a couple of times and get loads of kills and level up your weapons. So whilst we're here, how do you want to actually play the Gauntlet mode? I'm going to give you a couple of tips on what you want to do. The first thing is you kind of want a squad, right? You want 4 players that you can chat to and talk to. That is kind of how you need to play this, because every single one of these rounds are objective based, and if you're not playing with people that you know relatively well, or you just get lucky and get a good squad if you're loading in by yourself, then you will be struggling to even get a win on this mode as well. So I recommend that if you are playing Battle Royale quads with any of your friends, then play with those exact same friends in this Gauntlet mode. Second of all, you want to make sure you're communicating. Of course, that is the main thing, because you do need to communicate to get the objectives complete. There's quite a lot of them, very different ones as well, and all of that together will help you get your wins. The other thing, when it comes to your weapon loadouts, I think most of the kind of sectors within each of the rounds here are very small, so most of your loadouts could be kind of close quarters for the most part. You don't need to build any super long range guns for this mode. Now, there is long sight lines in certain maps or certain aspects of the map, and you can use snipers or whatever you want to use, but for the most part it will be close quarters engagements pretty much 90% of the time. So you do want to make sure that you're building your loadouts towards close quarters as much as you possibly can. When it comes to classes in this mode, I think the Assault class would have been the perfect pick. Obviously, like I said, it's close quarters, quick engagements, And the only issue is that the assault class is very underwhelming at the moment. Now, the ladders are actually quite useful in this mode to get to kind of certain parts of high ground quicker than the enemy. And it's not about the fact that you can get there or not, it's the fact that you need to get there faster, and that's when the assault ladder comes in, and that's where it helps you out a ton. So I think the assault class would be good if it got a buff, but I would try and stay away from it from the most part right now. The engineer class can be useful. There is vehicles inside this mode. There's ATVs, there's tanks, there is certain vehicles. There's no air vehicles from what I'm aware of anyway. There was a helicopter actually in one mode, but other than that, there wasn't really any fighter jets or anything. But for the most part, I kind of recommend staying away from engineer as well, unless you're trying to blow up walls. And I think that's where the engineer class will come in most handy. But realistically, the best two classes really in this mode are the support, which is by far and away the best class, because raising your teammates or reviving them with the defibrillators is like literally the best thing to do if you're on an objective, because it allows you to keep your team alive way better. If you have multiple support players on your team, it's going to help you so much more. And then recon class as well is going to be really good too, just to know where the enemy players are and where they're coming from, so you can easily kill them with all of the equipment you have at your disposal with the recon class. So overall, I think the two best classes for this mode are definitely support and recon. Touching on vehicles quickly here, you can get some benefits of using vehicles, whether it's from getting from point A to point B very quickly, whether it's to use a tank to try and get hold of an objective, or to kind of tear down an objective and destroy walls and things like that. That is where the vehicles come in handy the most. But for the most part, the infantry is the focus, right? That is the main focus of this mode. So if you are a very vehicle-based player, then you kind of want to stay away from this mode, because the vehicles are not really the primary objective here. So there we have it. That is all the information I have for you on the Gauntlet mode. Hopefully you got some of a better idea from the gameplay in the background too. Now, I will be trying to make some of my content towards this mode, because to be honest with you, it's really fun, and I hope it does span off its own community based around it, because it definitely deserves to have a bit more recognition, because it's really well done, to be honest with you, and I have no complaints about this mode whatsoever. It's actually everything I like about Battlefield all kind of into one mode, and I think it's extremely fun. And sometimes when you want a break from, like I said, the Battle Royale, then you can jump into this instead and enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Gauntlet mode down in the comments below if you've tried it out, and thank you very much for watching.